What's up guys, Bloodshed here. We just had a PTR patch build 2.6.10 update, so I thought I would go through the notes with you and show you video footage from today's stream, so stay tuned. The change today for the clones was adjusted seasonal theme shadow clone damage numbers, so they can now move unhindered through enemies. And this is one of our feedback suggestions, and I'm so happy that they did it. There's been so many times where the clones get stuck and they can't get to where the target, and they just stand there and do nothing. It was so annoying, and now they fixed it. The damage numbers should now also be more even across all classes, which they all seem to do roughly the same damage through our first go through today. Here's like an idea of the original shadow clones on like a demon hunter. Just as an example, the demon hunter clone would do this up until like 125, where it just pew, 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 right? It just absolutely obliterate the Rift Guardian, like super duper easy. In the next clip here, I'm about to pop a shield pylon, which is great because I can just stand still and take no damage, right, with the shield. And you can completely see the clone damage. Now this is on a GR 110. You can see the difference like immediately, right? I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this yet, as it's just got patched in recently. I don't really want the clones to be so broken, and this is maybe more appropriate. You know, after about 1 minute, the DH clone on a 110 does about 45% damage to the Rift Guardian. So that's pretty much the pace that most of the clones are doing. Now there still is a little variance in the clones, but it's more like a 10% variant. Like I think Barb would probably get it just under 50%. And Crusader is still really bad from what I can tell. It would be like more like at 35%. So you can see they're more like homogenized or whatever. And they're just, yeah, they're doing about roughly the same type of damage as well. I don't really see too many different variables, but at least it gives you an idea of what they look like and what to expect, right? It's definitely helping you, and it'll make your RGK time even easier. For leveling and early game, T16, they absolutely still crush everything. So don't have to worry about that if you were really excited about leveling with the clones, and that's insane, right? A lot of people kind of freaking out about the Necromancer bracers getting nerfed by 100%. So they took the 500% bracer and made them a 400% bracer. And I'm happy to report that you have nothing at all to worry about. This is me with, you know, on a 115 with 800 Paragon, 100 gem levels or less, and no augments, right? This is what we've been testing at all season. You can actually see it on screen down here. And Demon Hunter still slaps like crazy. Hits super duper hard. Now that this is finalized, I'll probably do a video on it soon. Just kind of tweak my build, this and that. But yeah, there's a few different ways to play this build also, which I'll cover it when I get into the build guide. But I mean, you can see, right? It's even against Impalers, Spearmen, it's tanky, it does damage, and you know, we're just kind of cruising, you know? Like I'm getting spiked here and there, you know, it's Impalers, right? And it's such a low, I test with such low stats, and I push the builds far with that low parameter that you get to really see what it's like to be like a new player or like early game, you know, 800 Paragon, and see what you could accomplish in a realistic fashion. So I felt almost no difference, but I would say it's only like a 2 GR nerf even end game. Like it's still insane DPS. You're going from like, say 1,000 from your clones to like 800%, right? So it's still a nerf, but it's not really that big a deal. At least not in season 22 when you have the 4th cube slot. You can just see the decimation. The Twister Sword. So they added the Raging Storm rune to the Twister Sword. So now you can use the Wicked Wind and the Raging Storm. What that means is they stay in place and do lots of damage. A lot of people are starting to get upset that there's a bug. And there is a bug where it's not doing the proper damage that it should do. But I'm here to tell you that don't trip, chocolate chip. It's insanely powerful still. This is me on a 115, just like with Necro. We do have full Ancients because it's a lawn build though, so bear that in mind. Full Ancients, less than 10k main stat, 800 Paragon, less than 100 gem levels still. Right, this is with the new Twister Wizard where the Twisters stay in place now. So even if you're playing on console, you won't have to try to play these weird mechanics to glitch them out. You can just cast it and they stay in place. It's really insanely powerful. I think we did a 115. We ended up doing a 115 in like 8 minutes. And you can see that's the difference with the S tier builds is they're like doing 115s with 800 Paragon in like, they can do 115 with 800 Paragon basically. And then like the A tier builds can do like a 110 comfortably and so forth. And the B tier builds are like around 105 with like a low ceiling. The progression doesn't look so insane here, but I might let the footage play for you guys just so you can see a little bit more because it does start to pick up as we get more and more density. This map is trash. I got bugs. I'm kind of caught here in the corner. Let me actually skip ahead really quick. Again, I'll probably have a build guide for this as well. Rancer's Folly groups up the Twister in spot, and then your new rune is also putting a Twister in the same spot. So it's really satisfying to kind of have this pinpoint accuracy with the Twister and grouping the mobs. I like Black Hole in the build because they do less damage to me and then I do more damage to them. Even though we already grouped them up, it's a little redundant, but that's just what I'm currently running. So if there's any questions with that, again, I'll have full build guides and everything. I did a 115 on the leaderboard if you want to see exactly what build I'm running. I don't know if I have it updated yet on the website, but I'm going to get to everything eventually. So after that next pack, you can see I pulled ahead. Look at all that density grouped up and just gets shreked. And our progression starts to take off like crazy, right? And you have really good Rift Guardian potential. It's solid Rift Guardian killer. It's not insanely good, but it's pretty solid. And yeah, I would say Twister Wizard is S tier currently with my early impressions. And even though there is a bug and it's doing less damage than it should, it's obviously still crushing. We're tanky even, and we're doing so much damage. In 4-man, I believe everyone's saying they're lagged out of their brain right now. But solo, I experience 0 lag, and it's nice for the solo players to have a build like this, especially now that Meteor Shower got taken away from us. The next thing we have to talk about is the Thorns, man. The Akkhan Thorns, the S God tier, not even S tier, it was a God tier build. It was the best build we ever had in the game. A lot of people wanted it nerfed because it was just insanely powerful, like free 150s for, you know, if you put in a little bit of effort, it's like a free 150. So they nerfed it, and we kind of predicted it, and they nerfed it a little too hard. It went down about 10 to 14 tiers, from what we can tell. It was like not even S tier, it was God tier. So it skipped A, and it's maybe like A minus or a B plus tier right now. I was even on a 110, right? So from what you just saw with Necro and Wizard, we were dominating a 115. With Crusader, we were barely getting by in a 110. I would probably bump this to like 100, maybe 110, and that might help fix the build a little bit or allow the stacks to last longer. So if you hit 10, maybe you get to stay at 10 for like the next 4 or 5 seconds, right? So it'll be more consistent damage throughout and not have so much spike and all that stuff. Maybe something similar like that, but I have to keep testing. Again, we just did like 1 or 2 playthroughs on each build. And let me kind of show you. You can see this is us this is a 110, 800 Paragon with Akkhan Thorns with Invoker. And you can see we're basically even here. And on a good map, we could probably clear. And I had a green gem in my weapon, not a Thorns gem. So that was an oversight. Missed that right there. So you could probably do like a 110, like the low. And then with a good map, you know, around that territory early season. So it's still strong. It's about like A, like I said, like A minus tier, A low A tier right now, which is definitely a good build. And it's a build we didn't have before this season. So that's really good. But unfortunately, it just doesn't have like that power punch that it had before. So I believe it should get kicked up just a little bit more, just to be more in line with these top tier builds. And a lot of people might have been looking forward to play it. So that would be a good thing, I would imagine. Monojuma's Way. So now when you use Angry Chicken, it spawns a chicken like every second that goes out and attacks enemies. So this is me trying to understand how it works and everything like that. I don't know if you can see the little guy shooting out little chicken. I think I'm going to pause yeah, you can see him, the little chicken shoot out. It's cool, man, but it's not like effective because it only shoots out the little baby chicken when you're in chicken form. And typically with Chicken Bomb or Helltooth, by the time you get to the elite, you pop out and things should start to die. And then once you pop out, you can see the little chicken. Once you pop out, your chicken's not spawning anymore. So maybe So it's kind of like one of those things. I think if they want to stick with this chicken on chicken theme, maybe when you explode, then it shoots out 4 chickens, like 1 in each direction. So it's like some kind of little blanket of bombs or something. Because, yeah, so when you maybe pop out a chicken, then you spawn more chickens and they blow up. Because right now it's just randomly shooting out, right? It's like, you know, it's just like the bombardment satyr. It's strong for speeds, but it's not nearly as good as Fist of Heavens because you can't focus target anything. You know, it's supposed to pick up stragglers or whatever, but it's just not enough, right? I do like the effort to be creative and do something differently. But what do we need for speeds? Bigger radius, more damage, right? And things like that. So if they just doubled the weapon set, like we suggested, then you'd be able to one-shot elites and move on with your life. You wouldn't need to now you have to line up these chickens. But it is cool, right? So, yeah. Mini chickens OP, man. I'm trying to see if I can get a few more shots of them just so you guys can see them. In the video, but you can see like you're moving too fast and then sometimes they go behind you and then you pop and yeah, you get it. New item for zombie bears. They added an effigy, Ursa's effigy, right? Zombie charger deals 150% damage and spawns more zombie bears. Developers note more bears. This is really cool, but it's not in the game. We had people in chat upgrade 150 mojos and got nothing. Some people were doing bounties. It's in the cube though. You can see it, but nobody knows how to get it. They were killing things, trying to get loot. So, and then they took the PTR down. So I can't even log into the PTR. That's one reason why I'm doing it with my live stream footage. There is no PTR currently to film this. So yeah, soon, TM. So far, I love everything that I'm seeing here. You know, so far up into this point, they've been crushing this mid PTR patch. And then they really crushed it with Ulianas. So Ulianas 4-piece now has 77% increased damage for 7 seconds after applying Exploding Palm. Beautiful. Amazing. And you might be like, well, it doesn't do enough damage. It didn't fix the damage issue. And you're right, it didn't really fix the damage issue. But it feels amazing to play and you can push higher because now you're really able to get that mythic rhythm snapshotting in. You get to stand still with the endless walk set or try new combos because you're not just desperately just clinging to life. And it's really tanky actually for hardcore. This was another suggestion that we had and I really appreciate Blizzard listening to us and the community. We love Ulianas and little tweaks like this over time, giving it 100% multiplier on Gundo gear, giving it survivability to bring it more in line with other classes, really helps, you know. Let me skip ahead. Looks like I paused it in the video here. It really helps to bring the build back to its former glory. So yeah, I need to go through and rework the build a little bit. I'm using the furnace currently. But I mean, so if you don't know, like the way defensive multipliers work, it's just as good as like a damage multiplier. So like a damage multiplier gives you lots of damage. A defensive multiplier gives you lots of defense, right? So it's insane. It makes you insanely tanky. You can see a lot of times I'm standing in the middle of stuff and I love it. I love that now I can plan around different strategies and build differently and maybe bring Ulianas back, you know? So this is a ghost just sitting there, just sticking to me over and over on this 110. Yeah, so 800 Paragon, right? You get the drill by now. And doing a 110 with basically 600k life, you know? I was like, ooh, Uliana's got buffed. Let's jump in and see what's up. And this is us kind of seeing what's up here. Eventually in the Rift, I pull farther and farther ahead as I get more and more density. We did a 105 before we did the 110. And the 105 we just obliterated. That was pretty chill to do the 105, you know. The 110 was a little bit slower, but you know, it's stronger than a Akkhan Thorns Bible Thump. Or at least we're farther ahead than we were with that. Yeah, too soon? I'm sorry guys, too soon. I'll maybe leave you with one more Uliana's pop here. Let's wait for Cold Cycle. Here's Cold Cycle Blood, pop it. All right, pretty satisfying. Nice. Another change that maybe nobody saw coming or maybe we didn't realize, they put an 800% multiplier on Leapquake. And boy, is it gonna slap. I mean, it went from like B tier to A tier now. This is a 110 again, same parameters. Man, it's fun. It's fun. It doesn't have the damage of like Bone Spear, right? And it doesn't have the like bone breaking power of Frenzy. But if you ever wanted to play Leapquake, man, I don't think they're gonna revert this change because the build's not overpowered, right? It's just maybe like A tier or like low A tier. It's kind of right where Ulianas was now, right? The Uliana buff kind of brought it up a little bit, maybe like A- tier. That's kind of like where they are, right? This is like a 800 Paragon, 100 gem level, killing and chilling, stomping and romping through the rift. And yeah, man, 800% from no multiplier. It was just like a additive bonus on the weapon. So now you can cube it, and I'm using the furnace, you know. I don't know what I would use, and probably if I do a build guide, I would probably talk about it. But I'm using the furnace because it has the highest like damage range in the game. So that's pretty cool. And you could probably modify it for Paragon farming. It might be pretty cozy for Paragon farming. And yeah, you just jump and dump all your resources to get your health back. You can see every time I slam, I'm getting like almost a full health bar back in resource. I think actually halfway through the rift, I realized I didn't have my points in max resource because we normally don't put it there. So I would have been healing for even more so. But I'm just really happy to report that Leapquake Barb is basically back. And I'll make sure I go through and try to update my builds for you guys so you have them on my website. But yeah, it's cool, man. It's good to report such positive news, right? Like, it sucks that the PTR got delayed a week. If you don't know, the PTR is going to be up till the 27th. It sucks, you know? But it's pretty cool when you get toys to play with and builds that you never thought, like Leapquake, Ulianas, Chicken, Twister Wizard are all coming back, and it gives us something new to do in a season. So I'm pretty psyched. Remember, if I was doing a 105 or 100, the build would look broken, right? I just purposely push far so you guys can see real results of stuff. I also didn't want to just go through every detail of the patch notes. You know, I wanted to give you guys more of a visual aid so you can see what the changes did and then kind of just see it for yourself. Again, remember, I have a website. You can go to bloodshed.com. You just hover over the D3 content. There's drop-down menus for every class. You click on it, and I'm going to swap this DMO Twister out with Lawn Twister very soon, right? It'll all be updated as the season progresses. I've been a little backlogged on a few builds I have to do because I've been making videos every day, but eventually it's going to slowly get caught up, right? So tonight I'm going to do a few, tomorrow I'm going to do a few, and so forth. And if you want to support further, you can click on any links in the description. You know, you can sub on, there's a paid sub on YouTube, you can sub on Twitch or Patreon, or just liking the video. These videos take time to make. And you guys have been crushing the like button. It makes me so happy when I see a bunch of likes on the video. I can't thank you enough. So thank you for that. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna get to working on these builds, and I'll see you live on stream today. That's gonna be all for me today. This is Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.